I never end up with just like genuine. I seem to not. Maybe I do. And maybe I do because they're people that I don't know, and maybe that's evidence that they exist. But I only seem to end up with lunatics that follow me about.
It's true, you do.
Nobody wants to just come and listen. Everyone wants to be part of the fucking show, man. You know what I mean? Like, it is like it's unbelievable. Do you reckon Bruce Springsteen has someone that follows him around and is just like constantly just going like, mate, people really like dancing in the dark tonight. You should do that every. He's like, I fucking know. I'm the boss. Jesus.
It's funny because the same thing happened again at the live show when you got caught in a stairwell storm.
Yeah.
Of drunkenness.
I did. I forgot about that. Fucking hell, man. Why? What? There's something.
Once again, I was carried off the stage.
In King's chair pose. Yeah.
Down to the smoking area.
And I was like, oh, this is
where I was lauded to be a king.
I remember like being like, I think that show went well. And I immediately started like getting into like taking the gear down. I was like, I'm just going to keep myself out of the way. Just fucking, just try be grand. And then somebody just really was unbelievably rude to me. And I was just like, but I cleared it up after. It was just someone who was drunk. It was through someone that we know. And it was just someone thinking that they were being funny and it wasn't as funny as they thought they were.
It wasn't hitting the mark.
Yeah. But
alcohol can do that to you.
It's a real it's
a humdinger of a drug.
Turns you into a real knucklehead, like. It's fucking absolutely fucking mental. But I have something in my fucking eyeball now.
So we just kind of sat down in the middle and started there. We just straight into it without context, but you just told me a brilliant story, like magnificently told, with a very satisfying arc and resolution. Spectacular comic timing in every moment that it mattered. And then we sat down and hit record. Like, it's
so annoying that most of the best things I ever have to offer I can't say on record. You know what I mean? It would. I
guess the start. If we'll leave that in. That was a teaser to what was actually being talked about.
Yeah, but I had a really funny. So I was gigging in Henry's on Wednesday. And there were some people in, at like the table, like kind of in front of me, and they were making really good requests, for like stuff that I already nearly always play anyway. They were asking for like Norah Jones and John Mayer, and they were asking for like Fleetwood Mac and shit that I knew. But the first thing that they asked for, the first thing that they asked for, the guy at the table, it was like one fella and like. Three girls, and I don't know. He had a bit of a Canadian look about him, so I thought
please do elaborate.
Just a mustache,
right.
You know, I don't know why. Mustache, good hair, sort of trendy looking. I was like, no, this boy's either from East Belfast or he is from Canada. Right. Those are the options.
Yeah, Toronto sort of hipster. Is that what is that what you're describing?
Whatever you're imagining is completely correct.
Trav.
Yeah.
But I'm always imagining Trav.
Yeah. So, but not
so this guy was fully naked.
Fully naked. Yeah. And calling out your name. But he just shouts up and goes. He goes, "Do you know Simply the Best?" And I was like, would you like that in the
so
key?
He is from East Belfast.
I was like, would you like that in the key of U, D, or A? And he was like, but he still hadn't said enough for me to like catch the accent. And I said, do you mind me asking where you're from? And he was like, Derry. And I was like, right, so you know what you're up there? and he was like,
I wonder, should we explain for context in case, there could be.
There is no way I've ever heard this explained to me that has ever satisfied how ridiculous it is.
So, as far as I'm aware,
yeah,
the motto of the UDA was Simply the Best. So they used to always have
the anthem.
The anthem
of the
was
UDA.
Tina Turner's
Simply the Best. Which is the most mental thing. Yeah. It's because they have no genuine troubadours in the ranks. You know, there's no Luke Kellys or anything for the Protestants. outrighting bangers about hunger strikes. So they were just like, well, Tina Turner's cool.
You gotta respect that, you know. It's like,
Who can we glob on?
who's in the charts these days?
Can you imagine? I wonder how just the timing of when they decided on the anthem could have affected, you know, what they would have ended up with, and how amazing that would have been if it was just like, I don't know,
Take on Me by
or like Talking Heads or something. You may ask yourself, like all these boys with fucking load of tattoos and all that. You may ask yourself. It would have been fucking, you know, we could have been in a perfect world. We could have ended up with like fucking Born to Run or something, you know, just like, and Bruce Springsteen would have had to come out with some sort of a statement, just being like, I'd really appreciate it if you stopped using this song.
I wonder, was Tina ever forced to distance herself from the UDA? I have not, nor never have been a member of the UDA.
I would condemn the actions. Someone's given her the proper vernacular of how to deal with Northern Irish political situations. Just say condemn a lot, you'd be sweet. But I fucking hell. But
so did he know what he was doing?
Oh, yeah. He just thought he was being funny. Like, it was funny. It was funny once I realised he knew what he was doing. You know what I mean? But he didn't seem like he was like a member of a flute band. I put it that way. Like, he seemed like he was like, you know, that sort of thing. But
bit of devilment.
A bit of devilment, yeah. But it was good crack. I've actually, it was a nice couple of gigs this week.
Well, it'll come as no surprise for you to hear. Took myself off to the beach not once but twice since we've last hung out.
You look not as sunburned as I would expect for somebody.
You see the Factor 50 sticking out of my bag
that
there?
Stuff does nothing for me regardless, man.
Factor 50?
I get scalded regardless.
It's like mayonnaise.
I get scalded regardless.
Really? Nah. Like, you should be all like
covered, like headed.
Are you wearing it now?
No, but I wasn't planning on being in the sun now.
You should be even from the house to the car. I'd rather myself in it, and then do a quick dash in through the open window.
The floor is lava. I'm having an unexpected side effect of the sun. Of the good weather that I've never anticipated. Maybe it's just never been a problem before, but there's something happening where the dash of my car is so clean that it's reflecting off the windscreen, and I can't see when I drive in the sun now.
See,
it's just lighting up the whole fucking screen, man. Every time I like get into a bit of shade, I'm like, Jesus, was it that close? Fucking. Yeah, but the beach now wouldn't be something that I'd be fucking racing down to in this wetter. Like
I went with a pair of clowns, Nathan. Let me tell you, it was an experience.
A pair of like genuine clowns.
Well, kind of. No, I went with two artists from here, Jacob and Emily, who are trained dance and clown performers. So there was a lot of
the vault is full of all sorts.
There was a lot of getting backflipped off Jacob's shoulders into the sea, etc.
Oh, class! Yeah.
It's good crack.
I forgot that there was water at the sea.
And he's a big strapping lad, and they were able to just fuck me about the place. It was brilliant.
You loved it. It sounds sort of sexual, actually.
No, we just lay in the sand and made out.
He picked me up and cradled me like a baby. Have you ever been cradled?
But I was out the night before, right? And I had got out, just started to get cold. I was like, I'm going to get out. Got out a bit before everyone else, and I was toweling down, right? And this family kind of were just setting up very close to us, like really close to all our stuff. So it's just kind of, and they were being a bit loud. I'll just say they're just being a bit, a bit chatty.
Boisterous.
A bit boisterous. It was, from what I could glean, it was like a man or kid and the grandmother.
At the beach?
At the beach, yeah. And the beach was really fucking busy. There's loads of people there.
What beach did you go to?
Hound's Bay.
Right.
And
a hot spot.
Yeah. It's full of yachts and boats.
In Helen's Bay?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
That's wild. Couldn't have seen that coming.
All kind of reversed in as well, and they were jumping off the back of it. I was like, did you just come from your wee Hollywood mansions, you cunts? And just let
you just love your yachts anyway, don't you? You crunches.
I'd hate to be the Hollywood elite out there in their big mansions at the seaside. I love the fact that, like, if there's any bit of good weather,
all the riffraff come down.
It gets overrun with the riffraff, and they just have to suck it up.
99s all over the place.
Just cars making scruffing up the roads, like, parked over their driveways. Take that, you millionaires.
Tire threads all over your good grass.
Garlight body going, I've got yoga class to get down, parked in.
Open your eyes. That's quite good, actually.
He'd be chasing cars right
He fucking would indeed. Get off my fucking lawn is what he's saying.
We're very Northern Irish heavy this episode, aren't
pretty,
we?
it's pretty niche. it's pretty niche today, yeah.
So I was watching it, and next thing, the granny just takes an empty can of Carlsberg out of their like beach bag, puts it in the sand, and then buries it. Like a dog's just kind of goes really quickly.
Was her tail wagging?
But you know, like when a dog does that, like she just buried it really quickly. And I was like, what the fuck? There's a bin
And right you were.
there. Like there is a bin right over. Obviously, it wasn't.
Sorry, did you say she took it empty out of her bag?
Out of her bag.
So she wasn't just, she didn't drink it on the beach
No.
and then it was empty. Right, okay.
And then buried it in the sand. Even though there's a bin right over there. And I was like, that's fucking minging. Are you fucking serious? And the path is right there as well. Like it was like it would have taken 10 seconds. And I was just sitting
Wasn't
there
a time capsule, no.
No. And I was fucking raging. I was like, I'd nearly fucking say something. And then I was like, she did bury it very quickly, almost shamefully, you might think. And then I was like, I started to get really sad. And I was like, maybe, you know, I just witnessed something really kind of like an insight into a really grim existence where someone's hiding in, like a drinking problem from their family or whatever. And then I got really bummed out. And then I felt really bad about like my initial reaction. And then she whips out another can of Carlsberg and just cracks it open in front of me. I was like, no, I was right the first time.
Are you sure it wasn't like her husband's ashes?
No, she was definitely
In
cracking open cold
in a tin of
suds.
Carlsberg, no. Like no one will ever see that coming.
Yeah, he died the way he lived.
In
Face deep in a can of Carlsberg.
the bottom
at
of
the
a tin of
beach.
Carlsberg. Yeah. No, I can't fucking. I think the last kind of couple of weeks ago there, but whenever
Raging.
the hot weather started, like we went down to the beach and I melted. Like, but same, just people everywhere, just throwing shit all over the place. You're just like, this is why we can't have nice things.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous. Absolutely bloody. Well, I can't remember what the fucking puppet says now. Oh well. Raging? Was it raging? Yeah, got it now. Came a bit too late.
Haven't seen that cunt in a while.
Yeah.
Whereas he's been quiet.
Outsunning his feathers.
A little too quiet.
Can you imagine if you found out that it now lived in the house that you just moved out of, and it was just going around taking notes, just like
Sunning himself on my rooftop, my former rooftop.
sunning the hound.
Very mediocre.
Yeah,
I was going to say very good, and I was like, Nick,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm not going to give him
Yeah,
that
it was
one.
fair. No, it was fair. Yeah.
Here, I was reading a news article last night that really tickled me.
Hit me.
And I thought I would just bring it to you. I'm sure you know about it anyway. Do you know about the Puck Fair? I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
Like, what do you know about the Puck Fair? Like, give us your rundown. Because I was at it once when I was a kid, probably about 8 or 9.
Is Puck Fada part of that?
I don't know.
So I know of a thing down south called Puck Fada where like basically a load of Hallians made up with Hurleys and they just go on sort of like a hike that involves trying to see how few shots they can belt the sliotar from one end of the county to the other, and
They kind of do that with road bowls in Armagh. Fucking hell, this is a very
it's very niche.
episode.
Very niche. But other than that, I imagine it's just sort of like a traddy sort of a car boot sale.
Okay. Okay, what are the words king, puck? Do they mean anything to you?
No.
Right, cool. So the headline was from the Irish Examiner. It was King Puck resting in the shade after goat removed from 50-foot stand due to heat. Does that make things any clearer to you?
Oddly, no.
King Puck resting in the shade after goat removed from 50-foot stand due to heat. And then the subheadline was, he is checked several times a day, and this morning the vet decided it was too hot for him.
What the fuck?
So do you know what this is now?
Still nothing, no.
King Puck is resting in the shade this afternoon after the goat was taken down from his stand in Killorgan when a local vet decided it was too hot shortly before noon. It comes following outcry over erecting the wild mountain goat on a high metal stand circa 50 foot in a heat wave. A status yellow high temperature warning is currently in place for Munster, with a nationwide warning coming into place on Friday.
Uh-huh.
So they had a goat up on a 50-foot stand.
It was a real goat up on the stand.
A real goat.
Right, not a statue of a goat.
No, an actual goat.
Right.
On a 50-foot stand.
In this heat.
In a heat wave.
That's cool.
And the vet had to shut it down.
I love, like,
It is too hot for that goat.
Hopefully that didn't have to go beyond a phone call. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I imagine when they phoned the vet and they gave him just the cursory details, I imagine he was able to offer his expert opinion probably pretty quickly without needing to see it. Or do you reckon he was in it for the call-out charge? And he was like, well, I'm probably going to have to come and see this for myself. And then they were like, you know, the receptionist and all were just like, but doctor, you know, surely you can.
He's like, shut up. This I gotta see.
He's like, how often do you get to see a goat up on a stand in roaring heat?
And get paid for it.
Exactly. Fucking hell, take them when you get them, Bethany.
A spokeswoman for the fair this afternoon said the goat was resting in the shade. He is checked several times a day, and this morning the vet decided it was too hot for him, she said. The goat is likely to be put back up once it cools, however. That decision will not be taken until later today.
How do they get... Is it just like a fucking... What are those things called? You know, the...
Like a crane?
Aye. Is that how...
David Blaine.
Is that how they... Is that how they get it up?
What, this goat is going to escape from this metal stand by virtue of being too hot. He's Ireland's David Blaine.
None of us know how he got up there.
He's just going to bath for the vet.
But like, yeah, there's too much admin going into getting a goat up on top of a very high stand on a hot day. Like,
you think that, but this is where I think rural Ireland sometimes does live up to the stereotype, because I was at this when I was a kid, and it is...
You've seen the goat?
I've seen the goat.
Up on a stand?
Up on a stand. It is high. 50 foot is very high.
It is indeed, yeah. Must be quite wavy and exposed to the elements too. Like, good thing goats have notoriously very good balance.
A statement from the festival organising committee said...
Sorry. Hang on. There is nothing more rural Ireland than milking an entire festival out of putting a goat up in a very high place.
Yeah.
I
agree.
Tickets are a tenner. This goat is way higher up in the air than you've seen any goat before.
Derek Ryan is playing directly under it.
Yeah. Lisa McHugh's on after. Yeah.
This is our audition for BBC AMA.
Yeah, I know. They'll snap us up in 2 minutes. Don't listen to the other episodes. Yeah.
So a statement from the festival organising committee said, under the 5 freedoms of animal welfare, Puck Fair continues to ensure that the welfare of King Puck is their highest priority.
That means at some stage there had to be guidelines drawn up to just make sure, to ensure the safety of the goat. They were like, look, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it correctly. Yeah. Let's get the council involved.
We can't afford to lose any more goats.
Is there anywhere else in the world that they would get a fucking full festival out of a goat? Well, probably. Maybe, yeah, continue. Yeah, I think they probably would, actually, to be fair to us.
Due to unprecedented spells of hot, sunny weather, King Puck was removed from the top of the stand this morning, placed in the shade with a constant supply of cold water and food, and is receiving hourly vet checkups that continue to show that the goat has a good bill of health. He's like, guys, I'm fine. Get me back up there. Get me back up there. I'm King fucking Puck. I'm not supposed to be down here in the shade with you fucking plebs. Get me back up there.
I love the idea of the vet being on constant standby, just standing next to this very tall structure, just waiting on his next chance to check on the goat. And they're like, you need to get that goat back down here, stat. I don't. And they're like, you said every hour. He has 20 more minutes up there before if we start taking this goat down every time you get fucking concerned, we'll never have that goat up there. How are we meant to charge people in here to just see an empty 50-foot stand, goatless? What the fuck do we look like? The Marys? It reminds me of like whenever like the UFC have like the doctor that comes in and they check like, you know, some boy on like coming off the stool on round 3 has just got the fucking orbital like fucking nearly hanging out of his head and all the skin is like completely fucked, and they're like and there's like the clear pressure from like Dana White over the shoulder, you know, the president of the UFC just being like, let them continue. Yeah. They come in and they just go, how many fingers are total? And they're like, 2, and he's like, Seems scientific enough to me. Get back in there, you scamp.
You think I imagine when the goats start in the shade, the vet is like trying to talk him out of going back up.
You can't get back up there.
Like, you can't get back up there, King.
Don't be fucking ridiculous, man. There's no need to be
You're
brave.
not a kid anymore.
Yeah, lads.
If I had that roadcaster hair, it'd be smashing it down, Nathan.
You don't need to prove anything to anybody, King Goat. It's King Puck.
Traditionally at the Puck Fair, the wild goat spends the bulk of the festival on a 50-foot stand overlooking the town. The festival takes place each year on August 10th, 11th and 12th, so he's 3 days. He's usually up there. The Puck is looked after by a team of goat catchers, while a local vet monitors the goat's health, and he's given a full health check before his coronation and being hoisted on the stand. As well as being fed, the goat is inoculated. What is that
Vaccinated.
mean? Oh, right.
What do you reckon the chat between that goat and the other goats is like for the 362 other days of the year? They're like, there's probably one other like, veteran rival goat that is like, sure, I could fucking do that. And
Like Scar.
And it's like, well, get up there then. I fucking dare you to get up there. And he's like, well, sure, you have the whole thing fucking sewn up, King fucking cunt, or whatever the fuck he calls him. And then all the other lady goats are like, oh, he's so brave or whatever. And then there's bound to be a lot of other like really
So in descent. Sure,
Yeah.
he couldn't fucking hack the heat.
He couldn't even hack the heat. He couldn't. Sure, it's the fucking same temperature down here, and there's no vets near us.
Yeah, I'd be up there for days.
I have made was up fucking 60 foot in the air, 40-degree heat came down. They only made a kebab out of half of him. The rest of him survived the rest of it, and he lived out the rest of his days as half a goat, half kebab meat. It wasn't my finest work. The only thing I could really tie up to in my very, very warm brain was koftas when I thought of lamb. So, yeah, sorry.
It's good. It's all good. Earlier this week, organisers said the goat's cage would be fitted with a cooling system, and there's also fresh water in the cage, which is nice. But I would never recommend like ending on the word cage when you're talking about how comforting you've made something.
Yeah. It's a very nice, spacious cage.
Yeah. There's a cooling system in the cage.
What do you reckon the chat whenever some company? Where's this Kilorglin? Kilorglin is really fun to say.
Or Kilorgan.
It's Munster somewhere, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's in Kerry. I think because when I was at it, we were at a holiday in Tralee. Family holiday.
It must mean that there's a company somewhere that has the contract for making the cooling system for this goat's cage. And when you've gone through 5 or 6 years of engineering degree, and you're really trying to fucking you enter into the workplace with world changing intentions, and you're like, we're going to engineer the fuck out of this world, me and you. We're going to do it.
We're going to be the goats. The greatest of all time.
And then but didn't see coming that their main business every year, the thing that they're going to be the best known for, was a very efficient cooling system to keep a goat at a nice room temperature at altitude.
Very specific. We're gonna get EU funding for this.
Yeah, there's no way that this won't be on Glastonbury next year. Do you reckon whenever they had the chat about like taking on the contract, they were like, but think of the possibilities. They're like,
this could revolutionize air travel.
It's a goat this year, but listen, it's only a matter of time before we have Adele on the phone asking us how to keep her cold at 50 feet.
In the heat.
And he's like, I don't know, man, it seems really fucking stupid. And they're like, just don't be so fucking small-minded.
Yeah, you start with the goat.
Have you ever heard of Eddie Hobbs? How do you think he started? Giving economic financial advice to goats at altitude. It's a well-known path to the market. Don't be a fucking idiot, Lorcan. Why are you so narrow-minded?
Concerns.
I'm starting to think you don't even want to be an engineer.
Concerns were first raised about the welfare of the puck goat in 2015 when an animal rights organisation said the goat's capture and confinement was wrong under the provisions of the 2013 Animal Health and Welfare Act. Aaron,
Do you reckon they had to amend the legislation to be like, I guess we're going to have to put in a specific thing now about keeping a goat at 50 feet on a fucking stand in the air at fucking warm weather because someone threw back in our face that it wasn't against the law and we didn't realise we needed to clarify that this was obviously a fucking stupid thing to do. So I guess now we're going to have to go through the fucking doll and
you Metropolitan Dublin elite just don't get it, man.
Well, would you come down and see the goat for yourself? Imagine now the spire in Dublin, but a goat on top.
A hot goat that you need to keep cool.
A roasting hot goat. And a vet on standby at all times. Oh my God.
Aaron?
This boy just fucking, trying out different fans. Just in the. I still can't get over this engineering boy just going, I'm wasting my life. This is fucking. Pass out the new packet antifreeze, please.
Aaron, the Animal Rights Action Network, not a guy called Aaron, said their concerns span the range of the festival. The catching of the wild goats, they go in and it's not.
It's not the same goat every year.
No, they don't. It's a wild goat.
Do they pick an inexperienced goat every year and give him no context?
It's kind of like Wicker Man.
It's pretty Wicker Man adjacent. Yeah. I wonder if Nicolas Cage turns up to this.
I don't know if they determine whether or not the goat has ever had sex before they crown him king.
Yeah, there's a simple way to do that though. Just a bit of paint on the belly.
All right. What? No, hold on. I'm lost.
I thought it was in. I'm not in.
Yeah. I thought I knew what you're saying.
That's why sheep and cows and shit have paint on their backs, is because they put paint on the belly of the stag, like the bull, the guy that they're going to let in and ride all the women. And then, so if we were the two stags for a field full of 100 sheep or whatever the fuck, stag is the wrong word, but you know what I mean. The stunt cock. So they'd give you a green belly and they'd give me a blue belly, and then at the end then
the animals tell the difference in the colour?
It's not up for the animals. It's not for the benefits of the animals, Mick. Though that's a good question, and I like where your head's at. They're like, I'll take a bit of green myself. No, but it's so then at the end they can tally which male fucking has been more successful in riding the most of the women. And so then at the end out of the 100, they'd be like, well, there's 74 green backs and there's only and there's 26 blue backs. Yeah,
I did all that.
Yeah.
I did all that.
So the boy with the boy with the green chest is just sitting up against the fence at the end of the day and going, you better make it up. You've fucking been last time to make it. Gonna take a day off. You've at least 22 more backs to blueing before.
And it's fascinating that out of the two of us, people would think I'm the rancher.
You'd be
culture,
far more. But here, listen, another great thing I learned while watching Jeremy Clarkson farm on Amazon Prime.
Really?
Yeah.
Right. I thought that was from direct experience of living out in the countryside.
Having to constantly wash fucking blue paint off all my favourite things. Stop fucking my car, cow.
Mercy. I learned something today.
There you go. And that's just my best guess.
The cat, so their concerns span from the catching of the wild goat, parading it through town, and exposing it to noise and drunken revelry.
Those were the three main talking points at the meeting before the procurement of the goat.
Yeah, I don't like how you catch it, and I don't like how loud you get on when you're bringing it through town. And also, lads, you're all half cut.
There's too much irresponsible drinking going on around this very, very vulnerable goat.
However, it is keeping a close eye, it said on Wednesday. And in a statement, a spokesman said, the Department of Agriculture, Food and the Marine has no role in approving or licensing the capture or display of the goat at the Puck Fair. In relation to concerns for animal welfare associated with hot weather conditions, Mr. McConaughey said... McConaughey went on a monologue and issued a statement in July urging farmers and livestock owners to take steps to protect their livestock during hot weather.
But only in this very specific way. Yeah. I have written an entire manifesto of how to deal with a farm animal at altitude on a hot day. Can you imagine being your first year out of a journalism degree?
And off you go.
And you get a fucking phone call from your fucking editor or wherever you've just started working, probably, Kerry Live or something, one of those fucking things, and you're like, cool, what's my first assignment? They're like, there's a goat really high up in the air. Need I say any more? And they go, oh well, fucking get the Batmobile.
I'm just thinking now
the Scootmobile.
Had I had more gumption, that'd have been a great mucking about or mucking around to go
100%, man. You need to get on top of this. But listen, that sounds like an annual event.
Yeah, it does.
It sounds like a good excuse for a road trip next year. I'll come with you.
I remember being down in Kerry as
Let's
a kid,
order this gimbal.
And
once you got finished with the Aquadome, you said, I hear there's a goat.
we
Really,
were at the Aquadome.
it's the only reason to go there.
Yeah.
That and the Ring of Kerry.
Let's you get a gimbal and do this,
100%.
Yeah, sorry. Let's not do the thing.
Yeah, we keep doing it.
We do keep doing it.
What else we could buy?
I remember being down. It was like a family, like my family, and then my cousins and my uncles and aunts. And we went to mass. I remember that. I was like, well, we're on holiday and we went to mass. Raging, like,
Does God take no fucking holidays?
yeah. But my cousin Fiona, I remember her, like, she was a couple of years older and talking about not wanting to go to the fair because she thought it was very cruel on the goat. Right on, Fiona.
Is that the Fiona that would listen to the podcast and left you that really funny voicemail that time?
No, I haven't spoken to this Fiona.
It's Kelly I'm thinking of.
Yes, it is, yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
But
very forward thinking.
Yeah.
For a girl
the
from
early
Oma.
90s.
Yeah.
From or even worse.
Even worse. Yeah.
I remember I was in a cage. I remember it was pretty high up, and it was just a market the whole way uptown of those really, like.
I would do it the entire time. Just be like, are we just gonna, like, is this necessary?
Yeah.
Who's this for? Like,
because at one stage, like,
what a shit tourist attraction.
yeah, like
Have you seen the goat?
They use a crane to get a goat up. So it's like, how long has this been going on? What did they do before the invention of cranes?
Nothing reeks more of insidious involvement from Big Crane in the local council than what sort of nonsense festival can we come up with that would involve a crane being a vital aspect of the setup.
They're making us all feel like jerks just because we don't hang our goats above the town. It's the same way that the
Brits.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, there are some incredibly brave, like, excuses for, call it what it is, council spending up and down this country, like, that I think is really funny. Like,
I feel weird about the Puck Fair because I think, like, I love those wee weird.
Oh, they're brilliant. They are brilliant.
But there's just the animal welfare is the.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the elephant in the room, Nathan. It's the goat hanging above the town.
Yes,
really.
Very well done. You've been sitting on that for a while, haven't you?
I have.
Yeah,
It just came to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jeez, it sounded like you'd worked really hard
I
on
know,
it.
and I leant back as I was doing it, like nailed it.
Yeah. Almost broke your arm from patting yourself on the back there. Fucking hell. Speaking of backs, my own fucking welfare, I feel like someone has slapped the clean shit out of me, man. I recently, this is not a glowing advertisement, but I promise it is for the, I believe I've brought her up before, that
woman who you paid to beat you up.
That massage therapist. She was on maternity leave and now she's back. And Jesus, man, I forgot all about how fucking
She's
sore.
back and full of the rages of motherhood.
Yeah.
She's
Come here.
ready to go.
Get to bed. But fucking hell, man, I got cupping done on my back, and it looks like I got in a fight with an octopus, and nobody was fucking concerned about my welfare in there, I tell you that much. I'd love to send you down to her once.
You sent me the photos and I just replied back, gross.
Yeah, it's pretty grim. It looks a bit better now. It looks like I lost a game of nods and vols, and then 8 lads all got a free shot at my back.
I lost a game of what?
Nods and vols. Do you know nods and vols? Do you ever play nods?
No.
It's like a sort of a kickabout game you can play.
Oh, headers and volleys.
Yeah,
Nods and vols.
Ours has more of a ring to it. I
think it is. It's so lame but cool.
Yeah,
I mean it's
Listen,
better than the.
I was 10.
It's better than the headers and volleys. Was just say what you see.
Yeah. See what you see. Yeah. Nods and vols and kicks and passes. But yeah, did you not do that whenever somebody lost nods and vols? Then the loser had to stand against.
Sounds like the experience of a man who was raised by brothers, or has his 2 older brothers.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, fucking hell, man, I've been dealing with that all week. It literally feels like there's 8 hands constantly on my back as a result of it. Just like you're so aware of it. It's the weirdest fucking sensation ever.
Well, I told you about joining the gym again last time, didn't I?
You did, yeah.
Well,
how's that going?
Up the weight, put an actual weight on the bar this time, you know.
Do you know what I did at the gym the other day, man? So embarrassing.
Oh, no.
It was so embarrassing.
Can I guess? Would I be able to guess? Is it like a gym feel?
I feel like it's so specific.
No,
I'd be blown away if you guessed it. What was your guess?
I was going to guess like you forgot to put the clips on the bars and then
it's clip adjacent.
Right.
So you're on the right track. So I was at a PT session. It was at. So it's not. We normally do it on a Wednesday, but we moved it to the Thursday because I got the massage on the Wednesday, and after I got all that stuff done to my back, she was like, "Oh, under no circumstances go to the gym today." Like she was like, "You need to fucking let your body recover from this. Like you'll be fucked." And I was like, "Fair enough." So your mum was like, "I can fit you in at 8:30 in the morning." So tottered up the road, fucking got in there, but I was just like, I was gigging the night before. I had a load of shit to do like that evening when I got home. So like 2 nights in a row now, I've had about 3 or 4 hours sleep. So it was grand, like, but I was just fairly knackered, like just constant ambient level of just like not really firing, correctly. But so we were doing, is it Romanian or Russian deadlifts? You know, the ones where you don't put the bar like fully down.
I don't see borders.
Cool, great, yeah. Ukrainian deadlifts. But the one where you don't. I think it's Romanian. RDLs anyway is what we call it. But you don't. You can do them with dumbbells or with the proper bar, right? So in the Pure Gym in Bangor, there's like, it's sort of like the far corner is where like all the kind of weight machines are, and then there's like cable machines around the other side, whatever. But anyway, so the rack that has the bar on it, but it's like, you take it. I don't know what any of this shit's properly called, but like you take the bar off generally, and it's for like maybe overhead press or like But yeah, so there was a woman on that using that, right? But the other way on the side of the machines is where like the weights are stacked, right? So I'm fucking. So we had taken. There's like other bars standing, and so we had gone and used some of the weights. There was like clips up on the wee hooks and all that sort of stuff. And when we were finished, my PT Ryan, like, I'd put the weights back, and I had one of the clips. I was like, oh, I need to stick that back as well, right? So this woman is in the middle of like, she's just put her bar back up on the little hooks, and I go, and I really hate those things.
Yeah,
I can never get them to fucking just perfectly on and off, right? So I would normally just fire them on the end of any, the little bars that like hold up the spare weights. I would normally just stick it onto one of them or on the little hook or whatever. But because she was like using the machine, I didn't want to like stick it on the hooks. At the same level. So I just went up and just saw one of the ends of the bars sticking out, right? And was just like, I'll just stick them on that. That'll be fine, right? So I went up and just started like struggling with it, right? And was just like really trying to get it on the fucking thing, right? And then the woman goes to me, she was like, you all right there? And I was like, yeah, just fuck it. Like, I was so knackered. I was like, yeah. And she goes, she was like, I can't remember what she said, but I just goes like, no, it's sweet, just leave it, it's grand, right? And walked away. And then the PT goes to me, you just stuck that on the end of a rack. I said the thing that she was using, it looks like I just went up and was just like, fuck you. I just stuck that on the end. And then in her mind, she was like, are you all right there? Like, do you want to maybe not put that there? And I just looked at her.
She put it on her.
So she was using like, she didn't have it in her hand. It was on the stand. But she was like in a rest between sets.
Yeah.
And she was just kind of standing there, just like watching me, just completely just go up and just stick something on the end of it. And in her version, like her point of view of the interaction was, are you all right there? And I was just like, yeah, don't worry about it. And then your man said to me, he was like, you realize you just stuck that? I was like, what do I pay you for? Like, fucking hell, this is exactly the sort of shit that is why you're here. You're meant to tell me when it's happening that I'm being a dickhead. Don't tell me after. But, oh man, it was so embarrassing. And then I felt like it was like early on in the session as well. This lady kept just passing me the whole, and she was hench as fuck. She would have murdered me as well. Yeah. So it was like even worse. Like she was already well comfortably outlifting whatever the fuck. It was tough enough for me to bring the fucking clip back, to be honest. But Oh, just such a faux pas. Just such a fucking like. I was like, this is the middle of the night for me.
You didn't mean it was accidental.
Ah, yeah, I know. I didn't beat myself up too much about it. I was just like, oh, fucking what a dickhead. Like, I was like, fucking idiot. But it was good crack, dude. It is good to be. We're just a couple of fit boys now.
Oh yeah, look. Get the legs.
This thing is just starting to fucking. That's basically what all my back looks
That's
like.
what the moon looked like last night. If Instagram was to be believed, I didn't actually see.
You want to see a moon? Sorry, low hanging. Yeah. Are you feeling good being back now? You enjoying it?
What?
At the gym?
Yeah. I need to get. Should go at some stage this weekend as well, just to keep at it. But and generally just.
How was the muscle soreness after the first time going back?
Oh man, it was ridiculous for having no weights on the bar. It was very silly.
It's unreal, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
Do you know what I'm really struggling with at the minute is like anytime I do any leg stuff, I feel like I don't know if I'm like overextending my leg. So like when I'm, if that's my knee and that's the top of my foot, say, I don't know if I'm like going too far past when I'm like straightening my leg, but it always feels like the back of my knee is like so fucking.
You just carry a lot of tension in your body,
like
Nathan.
Overdone. Yeah, I think so.
I carry all my tension in my jaw. I see it in myself when I see like photos or see video, like, and I know it, I can feel it when I'm like I like clench my jaw.
Yeah.
And if I'm really stressed, I'll grind my teeth in my sleep.
Aye.
You just seem to carry it all over.
I'd shout it at people.
You just your entire back.
And
your legs, it appears.
If you've been talking about like the lapel mics and what we could do with the lapel mics, I feel like a very funny bit of content.
Record you sleeping?
No, would be if we would let you, so we could clear it with her first, right? But just get your phone and stick it at the bottom, like stick it on the ground facing up, so you can just see your face in the face hole of this massage place.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And just get a supercut of just your reaction. You'll not believe how fucking painful it is, like. But you will feel better for it after, like, I promise you that. Like, it is worth the ordeal.
Yeah.
But fucking hell, man. Like, at one stage, she was, like, sticking... She has thumb... Like, I don't know how anybody is able to exert this amount of pressure, like, with just their fucking thumb, or, like, she would use, like, her elbow sometimes as well, or whatever. But, like... So, one of the things I went for is, like, my range of motion for, like, my arm here is like really, 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 like, if you're flat against the wall like this, you should be able to get your arms entirely the full way up to your fingers, like completely flat against the wall. But this arm like sticks out like almost at a pretty severe angle. Like it's got a lot of work to do. So between that and then all the gigging, and then at the minute when I'm singing, there's something like pulling. It feels like from my tooth, but it's like some gland in my neck is like just overworked, and it's like it feels like there's like a big knot there. But so the area she had to like work on was like this bit here. Now, just for the crack, right? Just stick your finger.
No.
You can do this at home, right?
No. Don't do it at home.
Just even gently. Oh. Just gently. Just feel the sensation, right? If you just below your ear, just kind of where your neck is there, it actually makes my eyes water.
Yeah.
It's really grim, but there is a massive. I'll let you feel it later. There's a knot in that part of my fucking neck, and she was like, "Grr!" and like really just fucking. And then here you're gonna love this, right? So one of the other things she does, which is honestly every time it happens, I'm like, why do I come here? Like it is awful. So you're like laying on your back, and she's like, right, breathe in, and then she like you breathe out, and she pushes your head off to the side that way, and she kind of holds it, and then literally just she has like a little sort of like. I don't know. I've actually never seen them, but it feels like a sort of a tiny little rolling pin or something, like a little bit of cylindrical wood, high polish so it doesn't splinter, you know. But and just down your neck like that, man, and just like that bit there. Oh my fucking god! I always say, I hope there's not like any new clients waiting outside the door, because I'd say you're about to be free for the next hour after me being in here. I'm always like fucking hell. But
tell me. At risk of sounding like a parody of myself, I think perhaps something spiritually medicinal might help you in your
like what?
Like mushrooms, maybe
This boy is
some
dying for me to do mushrooms.
DMT.
Where the fuck would you get DMT? Don't tell me you know a guy who can get you DMT.
I didn't say that. I didn't say
I
that.
sell it myself. I'd be up for trying these things, at some stage, but like, I kind of. Did you watch Bill Burr's new special when he's talking about his? Of course, that I'm the cunt.
Yeah.
That was so good. That's my fear. Is like I'll be the fucker who has the terrible trip. Like that'll be me 100%.
I'd love you to read that book that I shat on about for a year.
Yeah. I will.
Actually, you know what? Don't read the book. I might have brought this up already. There's a series. It's been made into a series on Netflix.
Yeah.
There's me and Orla have watched up to the
Jason Bateman's
episode 4, which is the MDMA episode. I was just like, I think I don't know if I want to sit down and watch it like a TV. An entire documentary about MDMA. It'll give me the skids.
Aye.
You know?
Yeah. No thanks. I watched a TikTok.
Or maybe speed watch it.
I
mean that.
I watched a TikTok the other day of, it must be some clip from, I think it was Vice or something, did this thing where they had these two old English men, would have been like of the sort of raver generation, and they put they blindfolded them, and then on a table in front of them they piled what was mainly just representations, not actual product, but just stacked all the drugs they've ever done in their lifetime in front of them. It was fucking hilarious. It was just like, the first guy was like, it's probably about right. He was like, yeah, it's not. He was like, it's not terrible, And they had like a doctor, and he was like, over the course of a lifetime, he was like, this isn't actually terrible.
Yeah.
Drug use, he's like, it's obviously not advised, but like,
I think your man just kept asking, like, kept
is this
verifying that they weren't.
Yeah,
they were just imitation.
But the other guy, it was like fucking. Jesus Christ, it was like Tony Montana. Jesus, it was unreal the amount of cocaine this man had done. And he had a kind of a look on his face like a mixture of like, wonderment but lust as well. He was just like, oh why? I could do more.
Just flashbacks to his UDA days, simply the best way, and I'm just hoovering lines.
But aye, man, fucking hell, it was a fucking mad thing to see. Like, and then it was funny then, like, because all the other stuff, like, the representations of like, tabs of stuff or pills or whatever, like, obviously are easy to replicate. But like, the weed was clearly just a bale of hay. It was like very low effort here, guys. Couldn't have got on to like the fucking DOJ or something. Got to lend us some hash for a good graphic now. But yeah, I'm gonna have to wrap this up, man. In about, I'm gonna say about 2. When that gets to 50, it would be a good time because I've got to leave for Lisbon here shortly.
Cool, man.
But were you about to say something there? Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say that my dad had a wild habit of like asking me, because my dad doesn't drink, and when I was a kid coming in and I'd be hungover, like, how many pints did you have? And then you would tell him, like, and he would convert it into gallons. So he's like, so you drank a gallon or whatever of,
It is bizarre, isn't it? Because like, there's no other circumstance where like, if
that's not what you want to hear when you're hungover, though. Like, the image
you
of
don't
a gallon
want it
of
quantified.
beer.
Yeah. No, 100%. But there's no other circumstance. Like, you would never just sit for a night and drink a gallon of water. Yeah. I'm going to leave the house now here at 8, and I'm going to bring that. I wonder if there was some way, like, so Guinness, for instance, right? So like that, if by your dad's mathematics, at the end of a night you've drank, like, so how many pints would a gallon be? Do you have any rough idea? Any rough idea?
I used to just.
Can you
like, shut up and stop.
Can you Google that? Like,
yeah.
What would you even actually? Maybe a better way to do it is like, what would you drink in an average? If you were out like for a date, if we left the house now and we were like
on it,
how many pints do you reckon you could drink without being?
All these days, 5 maximum.
Say in your peak
heyday,
in your peak, what would you have been able to drink in a night? Like, if it was a long night now, like not a fucking leave the house at 9 sort of thing. Like
at top end, 8 or 9 pints.
8 or 9 pints. So that's half a pint, or a pint. Sorry, is 500 mils. Well, actually, a bar pint is like a bit more or less than that. But so it's like, call it 500 mils. So 8 pints is 4 liters. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I wasn't.
4 liters.
Yeah.
And so a gallon, I'm pretty sure, is 5 litres. So that's only 10 pints, right?
Yeah.
So say 10 pints. Let's just
So
call
you
it.
would say a gallon.
So let's call it a clean gallon, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder how much it would affect your appetite to drink. Now, obviously, there's varying factors.
A gallon of water.
No. There's varying factors. Obviously, like my point being, if there was some sort of a technology or an efficient way that, like, if they poured you a gallon at once, that, you know, it didn't go dead really fast and it did, like, last and was still pleasant to drink all night, the same way it would be if you got it in individual pints. But how reluctant do you think you'd be to finish your gallon if they handed it to you all at once?
Oh, very reluctant. Yeah,
Like, if at the start of the night you were like, right, I'm planning on 10 pints, can I have it all in one gallon jug,
and I
please?
have to sit here.
Imagine just
Like,
how
is that like? Would that be like a bucket? Do you think like a mop bucket's worth of beer?
a gallon.
As a gallon, that's bound to be a gallon.
You know the 3 litre bottle of milk. Have you ever seen those? You know,
Aye.
it's kind of, so it would be like that plus a 2 litre bottle of milk,
That's not that bad.
but all at once in a glass.
I've drank roughly that amount of milk in one sitting.
In a big glass.
I used to drink that amount of milk regularly in pretty much one sitting.
But you know what I mean, though?
Yeah,
like, you would
yeah.
be like, I just feel like if somebody, I feel like it's the same as like if you were at a restaurant and you got your starter, main, and dessert all brought out to the table at once. I don't think you'd finish it.
No.
You know what I mean?
There's
Whereas,
a bit of pomp and ceremony to these
yeah,
things.
yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
But with the booze, I bet that would be a way for the government to curb binge drinking. Just be like, you have to drink it all at once.
Or you get them in tiny thimbles.
Yeah, those are the only options. Yeah. Every time you have to open a new thing, there's a new seal and all.
It's taking forever.
The hour of power. Just a stack of tiny vials behind you.
I've never done one of those power hours.
I did one on my birthday years ago. We went down to Rosscarbery in West Cork because it was New Year's Eve. And did it. It is fucking way harder than you think it is, man.
Yeah.
Gassy.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's so much air involved in doing a shot.
Yeah.
You know, you're sort of throwing it back and you're swallowing a lot of air. So
Yeah.
that on top of I imagine the drink of choice is very important. I've never done it with a Guinness now. I bet that would be a bit easier. Like, a bit easier. It's quite heavy, but it's less gassy. The
Like
problem,
going out for a full carvery.
but the problem with like, we did it with it worked out basically like it's serious drinking. You think it's fuck all, but a shot of beer every minute worked out at like fucking six tins or
Yeah.
something, you know, like in an hour. Like, I was fucking plastered. Absolutely fucked. And it was funny because at the start you're kind of going like, you're like, oh, you know, and it's like, oh, here's the alarm, another minute, you know, you're like, oh, clap. See, by about like the 12th minute, you're like, fucking hell. And it's a chore, like, to get through the end of it, man. It's tough going, like, but will we do it here?
I was just about to say.
An hour is how long we do the podcast. I can guarantee you we're going to have to bin it.
That's a good idea. We just do that on Tuesday. You have a gig on Tuesday night.
I actually don't think I do, because we were meant to have our live show on Tuesday and then I got that gig covered.
We could get Ryan and Shailene and maybe
Do the hour of power. Fucking hell. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it.
If I can swing it. Yeah. But I have a stag on Sunday. It's gonna be really hard
That's
sell
true.
to
That is
Margaret
true.
to be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I know I'm just gotten over this last hangover that I had, and I know you're doing a masters, but I'm going to go drink again for content.
If you pitch it like that, I think there's no way she can't understand.
I'll do what my brother used to do years ago and convince you that she would be more likely to say yes to you if you ask. She said no to me, but she told me for some reason that if you ask, she'd be more likely to say yes. That's a callback to an episode no one's even heard yet. That's going to have to be it. I got to go. Good crack.
Good crack.
What's this?
You're
You're just saying good
Just gonna
crack?
say enjoy your gig tonight.
Class. Thanks very much. I won't. It's the fucking gap in the middle kills me. Yeah, on a Friday.
Yeah. And
Alex.
my name is Mike, by the way. We didn't
Yeah,
know at
I'm
the
Nathan.
start.
Sorry, we launched.
This is Mad Notions.
We were full in. Yeah.
Really?
If you couldn't tell by now, with the graphics that come up at the start and the big sign, who we are, this is us. I'm gonna leave this go longer than is comfortable.